Hello traders, today is Thursday, December 5th, 2024. I'm going to go over some names today. Remember, this is not financial advice. This content is for educational purposes only. Make sure to do your own research and make your own decisions when it comes down to invest your capital in any type of investments. Now let's take a look at, or let's start the video with Affirm. Having mentioned Affirm in a couple of days. I'm really trying to find time to make the videos because life is getting pretty busy, especially this month. And anyways, a couple of things. I did post a bunch of different posts on X. Make sure to take a look at them. Some of them are pretty nice setups. Some of them are setups that are in the middle of developing. And yeah, like them. Screenshot them, use them. I think they're useful. A lot of them actually turn out to be pretty precise, I think. Now let's talk about Affirm. I'm sorry I end up getting distracted, but let's talk about Affirm. Yeah, I've seen some weakness in some mid caps, and I've seen, I guess, more allocation of capital towards the big names like the Magnificent Seven, Amazon, Apple. Yesterday we saw Google, Apple, Amazon have pretty decent moves. Today we had, I think, Microsoft also moving very nicely, Amazon as well. We had some action intraday on Nvidia and whatnot, and then Tesla as well has been moving pretty nicely. And yeah, so I'm seeing a lot of not a lot, but I've seen what could be the beginning of some weakness, or maybe a cycle into where the money is going. Mid caps, I feel like they're losing momentum, which is fine. I think it's necessary. One of the things that I noticed in stocks like Affirm, for example, isn't you're overextended, and at one point this has to lose momentum. Now this run, basically from this point up, has been, or maybe actually from the 200 SMA, has been pretty steady. Now let's take a look, just out of curiosity, from the 200 SMA till, let's say, when we're close today, up almost 100%. Beautiful move. I took advantage of some of these moves. I've been shorting, and let me get rid of this, and also going long. I was shorting these moves, at least two of them. I don't remember exactly which ones, but I remember telling you about these levels. And then also I said, once we hit 45, which is this level right here, yeah, we are probably gonna run. That happened. Now this run was pretty spectacular and went all the way up to 71. But it looks like now things are cooling down, which is actually very good. This is, nothing that is out of the ordinary. Don't be surprised if we go back down towards 61.6, which is this level right here, or even lower towards the 35 SMA, which is completely fine, as I mentioned. And at that point, I think even if you go down to 61.6, these indicators right here are going to be in a healthier area, maybe for a continuation, or maybe a retest of support and continuing going down, or even breaking support, turning it into resistance and going to the next level of support. In this case of Affirm, I'm sorry, I just got a notification about Bitcoin that is down 11%. Let me, it is not. I don't know how I got that notification. Anyways, so I think if we come down towards even 55.5 or 55.6, you would be meeting the 35 SMA at that point. You would be actually finding a better setup for a move to the upside. So that being said, keep an eye on your resistance levels, 71.3 or 71.4, and in my opinion, we're probably going to cool down towards 61, and there might be some opportunities on 61, or if we continue going down towards 55. That is what I have for Affirm. Sorry, I'm getting distracted with a bunch of alerts that I'm getting on my watch. Okay, so let's do AVGO. And let me take a note here. I did mention AVGO. You see, on the 26th, on the 23rd. Let's go back to the 23rd. I think that was when I started looking at this setup. The 23rd should be December 24th. No, December 24th, that's the year. So this was November 2023. So you were somewhere around here in this area right here. So it was on a Saturday. I started talking about this on Saturday, the 23rd, November 23rd. So I was looking at this little candle right here. One of the things that I noticed was this, what we can call cap and handle. But this is also a round bottom, which is, when it starts getting this formation, normally they break out on this area of resistance and they continue going. But then you had this second, smaller, more compressed bottom as well, which is now giving you the whole image of, if you will, a cap and handle. But I think, just to keep it simple, you have to mount the 35 SMA, which is this right here. Let's zoom in a little bit so you can see it. 35 SMA, you have to mount this, and you also have to mount resistance. After that, I think you're definitely going, shouldn't say definitely, but most likely you're going towards 185. If you don't break this level, you're gonna probably start getting in range, and this this whole setup would be invalidated. Anyways, keep an eye on that. MACD and TSI are not looking bad at all. The TSI is actually looking good. It's lagging a little bit compared to the MACD, which is fine. But again, you have to break over the 35 SMA on the daily chart, and you have to go over 173.5, which is your level of resistance, give or take, your level of resistance. So, but so far this is playing out the way I drew this thing. So you can go back to those videos on the 23rd and 26th of last month, and I was mentioning this name. I think there is definitely some opportunity here as long as we break resistance. That's all you need. But again, the MACD and the TSI are telling you the story, and there might be some momentum to the upside. So we'll see. This is a neutral candle, undecisive candle, and today, as you can see, it was pretty much flat. Let's take a look at the 5 minute. I really don't want to stay here for too long, but yeah, I mean, look at this. You had a little bit of a, where are you? So you started right here, and you had a little bit of a, buyers coming in, sellers took over, and then towards the end, you had a very nice candle towards closing, which brought you to a pretty much flat level. Anyways, just keep an eye on your resistance and see what happens there. If this gets rejected, I will leave it alone for some time and see if a new setup comes along. Let's move on to where are you? Look at this, Cameco. And really quick, I was looking at this and I was like, well, this is looking very nice. I might actually jump into this setup. We might see some action tomorrow. Today, this was up 2.5%, which is a very nice move. And I was just looking at this whole setup. So you had this breaking of this trend line, and right here you can see it's a bull flag, but I just like to keep my charts clean. I don't have to put, I don't feel like putting the bottom of it, but this is a bull flag right here. It just doesn't have the bottom line. And then you have this move, which is a continuation. You're also surfing on the 35 SMA. That's another positive thing. The 35 SMA is over the 200 SMA. And then you have this resistance level at 61.3. I think if we break that sometime this week, we are probably going to see a continuation to the upside for the next few days. There is let me see, but I'm not very familiar. There is basically price discovery. We are in a price discovery area. That's not bad at all. Another thing that I like a lot is that the MACD and the TSI are not extended at all. They're basically neutral over the zero line. That's actually a good thing. And you're still over the signal line on the MACD and the TSI and the RSI. Just keep those things in mind. You have to break this level right here. Obviously, if you break this trend line to the downside, everything gets invalidated. But you have volume. You have basically no liquidity to the upside because there's nothing there for obvious reasons, right? So I think you can basically break into new all-time highs. This is uranium stock, I believe. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Now let's move on to where are you? Enphase. And I want to mention Enphase because I've been mentioning this name for a while. I mentioned it here. I said we can rebound if we go to 73.5. We're probably going to rebound. We were almost there, but the rebound came. Then you had a gap. There was a gap right here. So we filled that gap. Then after the election, we created this gap, went all the way down to 59.7, let's say 60. And then what I said is like, well, if we continue riding on this support level, you're probably going to go to the upside, which happened. Now, what I did say was that we have to mount 73.5, at least for me to actually believe in this setup. And I knew that the 35 SMA was going to be the next level of resistance. So that's what I said. You have to mount this level with momentum. Well, that didn't happen. We actually got rejected at 57.5, give or take. And now we are on our way down, possibly going back down towards 60, or maybe somewhere in this area. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see what happens in the next few days. But one of the things that I would love to see is getting back into range and see what happens after that. Now, what is the likelihood of that? Well, I have no idea, to be honest, because I mean, you can get momentum tomorrow and then break resistance and then have the move that you're expecting, go over the 200, the 35 SMA and whatnot. But at least for now, you couldn't break resistance. You couldn't go over the 35 SMA. And it seems like the MACD, the TSI, the RSI are looking or losing momentum. And you're probably going to see a decline towards 60. Now, are we going to hit 60? We don't know. But it would be optimal if you go back to 60 and then you get another rebound. We'll see what happens here. I think, again, what I said before, I'm not entering this name until we fully mount this level, kind of like Celsius. Celsius also has this very low level that I think is 35, and I was saying, and I keep saying, if you don't go over that level, you cannot trade it. You just can't, to the upside at least. Anyways, let's see what happens here. I'm keeping an eye on this. I'm still interested on this name, but the setup has to take shape. If we range here and we continue going in a zigzag motion here, that actually makes it even more interesting. Let's wait for this. Let's see what happens. Let's move on to Google. And a little bit of a disappointment today, considering that we had a pretty solid day yesterday, 1.77, and today we are down 1%, which is fine, I think. Now, the only thing that I would say is disappointing is that you got to mount 75.5, and then today we gave it back again. So now, what it was resist or support at one point between today and yesterday, now it came back to be resistance. That's a bummer. Now your only point of support right now before you get to 171 is a 35 SMA. Like the TSI, I'm going to tell you, don't look good. I just want to tell you that. So we'll see what happens. Down 1% today, which is a pretty decent move for Google. Let's go to the 5 minutes. And yeah, so you had a good start in the beginning of the day, and then you actually collapsed towards, look at this, the 325 SMA. Okay, I think if we break this to the downside, we are gonna be in some pain. But we'll see. We'll see. Okay, that's what I have for Google. Your support level is a 35 SMA. If not, you're gonna go straight to 171. And if you actually rebound on the 35 SMA, you're probably gonna retest 75.5 and see let's see what happens after that. Now let's mention a name that keep an eye on this thing quite often, and that is HIMS. Okay, so down almost 7% today. This is one of those charts that it looks more dramatic if I change this, but let's do it like this. So this is a reality. This is kind of like what I was talking about with Affirm. Hood actually, all just to confirm what I was saying, Hood also had a not such a good day. But anyways, it would be. Oh, again, I'm seeing some weakness on mid caps, but in reality, what I like to see, or what I'm actually liking about HIMS right now is, and I mentioned this on the last video. I mentioned HIMS. It's the fact that we are creating more liquidity in this area. What is still driving me crazy is the type of moves that we're getting on the daily basis. Yesterday was up 5.3%. Today is down 6.84%. The day before, what was that? On Tuesday, up 4%. The day before, Friday or Monday, minus 4.25%. Well, we'll see. We'll see how we move. I'm having a little bit of a hard time predicting the direction right now, but it looks like it's going to start going down, which is something that I personally been hoping for. I've been hoping for HIMS to go back towards 25.5, and at that point I would probably start buying calls, maybe July calls and that sort of stuff. But I want to wait. I want to wait for this name to cool down a little bit as far as the volume and the percentages, and we're seeing on the daily basis as far as the the volatile moves, and look to me are like they're very impulsive moves, which is fine, I guess. I just want to see this thing calming down a little bit more. But I love the fact that we're building liquidity. You have a gap of liquidity here, but you have a price gap here as well. So that is the reason. But I like the fact that we're building volume shelves in this area right now. That is actually very good. MACD and TSI are not looking too good. They are losing momentum. The TSI is basically losing full strength, and the RSI also is indicating that we're about to hit the signal line. That might actually maybe is telling us that we're probably going to continue going down. I think that it's very likely that we're going to come down towards 29.7, and if we break that, then we're probably going to go towards 25.5, considering that you don't have a lot of volume and I don't know, lack of strength, I guess, and momentum. Anyways, HIMS long term, I still like it. I think this is a $75 to $80 stock, but it still needs some time. I think it's a little bit like the way things look right here are a little precarious, but not in a bad way. It just needs a little time, to form some sort of, more volume and more liquidity in these areas. So you can, at least for traders like myself, it makes more sense to trade. Anyways, that's what I have for HIMS, and let's take a look at this other stock, and this is INOD data. And remember when we were talking about Datadog? Let's go here. And how, not Disney, where are you? Datadog, here. So we are on this INOD data, and remember this, and I told you right here, this is an opportunity. Now the setup here is that you had the 200 SMA and you had support at the same point, and this was just, it just went left us all, left me behind too. But I'm happy that I was able to see that setup, and it worked very nicely. So now let's go back to INOD. Now the setup is a little bit different. You don't have the 200 SMA here. You have low liquidity here. You have, let's do this. You have a price gap right here. So the circumstances are different, but this part of the setup are pretty similar. Now, are we coming down if we get rejected? Well, we already did today. We got rejected, but I think it would be fantastic if we actually come down towards this, and then we set up towards the next move. I love this type of setup because it consolidates the stock price, and then when it breaks, it actually moves with a lot of momentum. I just showed you Datadog and what happened to that stock. and you see that you will be surprised how often this setup comes around and how I guess I don't know how many times actually works. It doesn't work all the time, but it gets validation more than more than anything else. Anyways, this is looking good. I think it might need some time. We'll see what we get tomorrow. And I'm saying it might need some time because take a look at the MACD and the TSI. They're still a little bit extended, especially the MACD. The RSI is fine. But if we come down towards 35 or 36.15, and then at that point you are surfing or you are on the 35 SMA, that would be a beautiful thing to see. So let's give it a little time. Let's see. I might mention this later on, or maybe post about this on X, but I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this name. Let's go to, where are you? Is it? Yeah, Lulu. Let's take a look at Lulu. And the only reason why I want to mention Lulu is because I've been talking to you about Lulu since what, October? Since September, since the end of September. We were right on this candle right here. Yeah, on this candle. September 24th, 2024. Go back to that video, please, and take a look at what I was saying. So what I was saying was we were either going to retest this trend line right here that comes from here, or we were going to have a rebound on the 35 SMA. So I said that on this candle, I believe. The next day, it was down 1.45%, and then you started moving up right after that. Now you got earnings today, which were pretty positive, and let's take a look. It is up 9%. So now, if we go to the daily, you are right on this area right here. There's where you are today. You went over the 35, you went over the 325 SMA, which is this line right here. This move was spectacular. I told you here, we are finishing here. That's the end of the move, almost 45% on a company like Lulu. So beautiful move. How many months was this? So if you bought these options in September, let's say if you bought January options or February options, that would have been a very profitable trade. Fantastic move. I didn't trade them myself, and the reason why is because I'm pretty sure I was trading either Amazon or Apple, which have been something, and the names that I've been trading pretty often lately, and I've been doing very solid numbers with them. But I love seeing setups and see them develop. And this thing had a lot of things going on. The 35 SMA, the move out of this trend line, breaking on resistance on this level. After, if you actually pay attention here, you're also getting tight on this area. So even if you cut the move right here, which is probably the best, your best entry, less risk. You had this retest, and then you just continue going, retest again, and then continue going, and now you got propelled 10% after earnings. Beautiful. I wasn't paying attention at when earnings were coming for Lulu, but I think I would have jumped into this name if I knew that earnings were today. Anyways, beautiful move. Yeah. Hopefully you actually got it. Now let's move on to a name I'm interested on, and that is Meta. And sorry, I like to take notes as I go. Anyways, don't be surprised when you're coming down towards 603, and then you're gonna continue going up. Today we were down almost 1% at one point. I think towards the end of the trading day, you had a little bit of green. You did a little bit. Look at this area right here on the 5-minute. To be honest, oh, this is interesting. Look at this. So you're here. You have this whole area right here of support. That's pretty interesting on the 5-minute, and this was resistance at one point. Now we are looking at the 5-minute, so don't get too excited on that. But anyways, this is looking not too bad. I think that we're probably gonna go down towards 603, and then retest that level. MACD and TSI are not looking bad at all. RSI is taking a little bit of a break, which is also a good thing. In general terms, Meta looks super strong. And remember, back in May, I believe it was right here on August. No, it wasn't on August. It was here. Because, yeah, it was here. Back in April. No, it was in May. Beginning of May. I gave you this name as well. And I gave you this, Microsoft and Netflix. And look where they are right now. Microsoft is lagging a little bit, but I think there is definitely opportunity on Microsoft as well. Beautiful setup. I think we can retest and maybe continue going up. Keep an eye on that support level. Now let's move on to Microsoft. Microsoft was pretty solid today. Now, I do have Microsoft. No, actually, I did buy. I don't have calls, Microsoft calls anymore. I did buy calls right on this candle right here, and I sold them today. But I think I did sell. I sold them around here, so I did miss this whole move. But I'm okay with that. I mean, I basically cut this whole thing right here all the way here, and once we got here, I was like, you know, I'm having a pretty good day. We are, and you know, I didn't actually think about the fact that we probably could break this this level right here. You know, I guess, you know, I don't know. But anyways, I'm looking at this and I'm like, why didn't I see that? But I got out somewhere in this candle right here. I think in this candle, this red candle. But it was a pretty good trade. I'm very happy. I think that this move, to be honest, can continue. I would love to see a retest or rejection at 443. I'm going back towards 431. I did tell you in my last video, and that was on the 3rd, that on Tuesday, that this had momentum to go towards 445. We got there at 443. We got there. I think we have, I think that Microsoft has more juice for sure. It has more fuel in the tank. I think that would be optimal, or I'm hoping at that, I guess, if we get a solid rejection tomorrow, and then we come back towards 431 and then retake this area right here. But don't be surprised if you actually continue going over resistance right now and then continue going towards all-time highs, which I would like to have a horizontal line right here. And the reason why I'm saying this, you basically don't have liquidity here. And look at the move that you had right from this candle. Let's zoom in. From the top of this little candle right here, which is where the volume is starting to decrease. And look at the type of moves that you're getting for this, for a company like Microsoft. Yesterday you had 1.44% and today 1.19%. Beautiful. I was part of this. I've been also trading Amazon to the upside. Fantastic. And also Apple to the upside. I recently got some calls for Meta. We'll see how they go. But these are April calls. So I have some time to actually decide if I want to continue on them or if I sell them. But normally what I do, I buy, and this is pretty much my strategy when I'm swinging. I buy options that expire 4 to 5 months, or yeah, at least 3 months away from the date. So if we are now in December, I buy February or March or even April, and then I basically trade the setup that I see. And once I get the money that I want, or once I feel like, okay, I just want to take my money or protect my capital, then I take my, I basically sell it all. And then if I see that the setup is going to continue, then I jump in again. But I don't buy options that expire anytime close to the date where I'm buying them, if that makes any sense. Now let's finish this video with another setup that I'm liking a lot, and that is Nike. I've been mentioning Nike where I haven't been. I mentioned Nike. Let me take a look at my notes. Last time I mentioned it was November the 23rd. No, actually November 26th. Let's go back to the 26th, which was Tuesday right here. What I was probably saying based upon what I'm seeing on this chart is that we don't have momentum, or we didn't have the momentum to break resistance, which is pretty obvious, right? But we still, now we're kind of flagging right here. This is getting tight, and I like that. MACD and TSI are not looking bad. We're still under the 0 line. I like that. We just have to break this resistance level at 79, and after that, I think we're probably gonna fly if we actually break it. You're still over the 35 SMA by a very short margin, but I think we might have a very decent move to the upside. Now, keep in mind, there is one thing that might be a patty pooper for all of us if you want to go buy options, or what would probably make it a little bit risky to buy options, is that you have earnings coming in a couple of weeks. Okay. But other than that, I think if we break resistance, we're probably going to move towards this gap fill. Now, if earnings, and this is a coin toss, right? If earnings are good, you're filling this gap, no problem. And you're over the 200 SMA, you're going to start moving. If you miss on earnings, you're definitely going to go down back probably to 70 again, where this is a pretty strong area. Oh, remember what I said about that setup of INOD, kind of like this. The same what happened in Datadog, same thing, bada bing, bada boom. And then that's I think I did play this somewhere, probably this move right here. I don't know, somewhere. Anyways, keep an eye on Nike. Again, the only thing that worries me, especially if you're buying options, are earnings. But again, and that makes it a little bit of a coin toss. If the earnings are good, you're gonna make very good money. If earnings are bad, you're gonna be in a lot of pain. But other than that, the setup is making sense to me right now. That's all I have for you guys today. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. Less volume than the rest of the week. That's what normally happens. Please subscribe and like the videos. That help a lot. And comment if you want me to check any of your charts or whatnot. I would love to do that. But other than that, take care. See you guys. Bye bye.